Hard Knocks. It started off so good, and then it just. Well, I'm going to talk about it. What is up, Finn fans? It is Tuesday. That means Hard Knocks episode 7 came out. First half was really nice. Dallas Cowboys game and the afterwards of that and all that stuff. And then we go into the Ravens game. So there's a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about, but real quick before we jump into that, I have to shout out today's sponsor. That is Clean the World. I talk about Sean Seipler. I talk about his company. I talk about the huge, great things that he does, the kits he puts together, the soap that he brings to people, the people that he helps in natural disasters, third world countries, the homeless, the shower stations he has. This man does a lot of great things, and if you want to check out more about that, you can click the link in the description or go to cleantheworld.org. He has some really cool merch. Wash your hands, bro. It's really nice and soft. I have like 3 shirts. And you can put your own kits together and help people of need. So, Sean, thank you so much for sponsoring this video, and go check them out. So, let's jump into this Mama Jam. So, the video starts out talking about the Dallas win. We're really high and mighty, feeling good. They talk about Sanders, and then they kind of introduce him and show him and his wife. And he says that every time he kicks an extra point, Christian Wilkins picks him up, which is just hilarious to me. And that's just, I'm not surprised because that's just straight up a Christian Wilkins thing. And then they start practice, and Jeff Wilson goes over and he, shakes Sanders' hand. And then he's like, I'm going to rub it on me. I'm going to rub it on me. So that was funny. Again, they were feeling themselves. That might have hurt going into the Ravens game, but they were feeling good. They were high. They beat the Cowboys. It was, the fraud bowl. It was 2 10-3 teams going up against each other. And, was it 10-3 or 10-4? 10-3. 10-4. 10-4. And then they said we're having a lot of fun at practice. I don't give a piss about, sorry. They were having a lot of fun at practice, and then Tua did that whole meme thing about, I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. The meme about Alabama. They were having a lot of fun at practice. A lot of fun at practice. Then Mike McDaniel shows Lamar's tendencies, breaking down the film, talking about don't go high when you're trying to tackle him. Showed him slipping out over the head tackles. You got to be, and their main focus was on Lamar, making sure he doesn't run on him. And I'll say this, Lamar, I think, ran on us like once or twice. Outside of that, he just torched us because he had 500 years in the pocket and our coverage broke down. So, they did what they wanted to, but to what point? And then he says the reason you get into the NFL is to play good teams, and this is why you're doing what you're doing, is this game and how big this game is, and you're going to be playing good teams for the rest of the playoffs. So get into it. Vic and Bevel were talking. So Darrell Bevel, who is the quarterback's coach, if you didn't know, was talking to Vic Fangio, and they were talking about how Vic Fangio, when he's with the 49ers, kept sending Navarro Bowman after Russell Wilson. He kept hitting him and hitting him and hitting him and hitting him. And Vic Fangio said to Darrell Bevel, Lamar Jackson makes Russell Wilson look like us running. And they talk about it, in his press conference. He's like, you have mobile quarterbacks and you have Lamar Jackson. You see how good and how mobile that man is. Lamar Jackson is just Lamar Jackson. Tyreek said, Skylar Thompson was Lamar's, I guess, replica in practice, and Tyreek was like, I should be the replica in practice. Lamar, he's not fast enough, and he wasn't wrong there. And then Hill tells Mostert to embrace the tape. We need him. And at that point in the video, and the episode, and in practice, I think that probably was like a Wednesday or Thursday, you could see Mostert wasn't going to play. Because he was talking to his running backs coach, and he was like, I was running in the water, but it's still this, it's still that. So you could see, but Tyreek was like, "We need you out there. We need you out there." So you could really see that he probably wasn't going to go. And then they talked about the injuries, and they talked about all the guys getting taped up, and they talked about how we're so injured. But again, and I'm going to talk more about this throughout the week because I have 3 videos playing for you guys, one tomorrow, one Thursday, and obviously the preview on Friday, where we can't feel bad about ourselves about the injuries. Look at the Cleveland Browns. Look at the Houston Texans. There's teams out there that are winning with the injuries. So, but they talked about our injuries and showed it. They talked about Javon Holland. They talked about his injury and how, it was the tackle that sprained both his MCLs. They talked about his return, how important it was. Talked about how important he was as a captain. Mike McDaniel talked about it. Vic Fangio was talking about it. How he conducts the secondary of the defense and make sure everyone's in the right position and all that stuff. And then the safeties got together for dinner. It was Elliott, Javon Holland, Brandon Jones, and they didn't show the 4th guy. I don't know who the 4th guy was. They just showed the back of his head. But they were talking about how Vic Fangio's defense was hard to get a grasp on, and he was talking about how everyone kept calling our defense trash at the beginning of the season because of how hard it was to grasp it. But Javon Holland said once you got it, there was so much freedom for them to do what they needed to do and do whatever they wanted to do. And Brandon Jones was like, yeah, I was literally telling somebody that the other day that it was hard to get a grasp on it, but once we got it, we had so much freedom to do a lot of things we wanted to do. Then Mike McDaniel said to Xavier Howard at practice, don't get your confidence hurt. They're coming after the secondary. Essentially, they're coming. And Xavier Howard said, nothing in this life is going to affect my confidence, which is good. And it was nice to see. And again, they're having fun. And it was a good practice. And Mike McDaniel's yelling and having fun. And they're playing and they're doing their thing. And, they're feeling good. And then Tua goes into the linebacker room and has this a handshake with the linebackers coach. And then they talked about the GoPro. And that was a big thing in the offseason. Oh, Tua's got a GoPro on his head because the quarterback, the coach, and the Bevel, they don't trust what he's seeing and yada, yada. And there was that whole narrative that was pushed about it. And they came out and said that it's mostly for the wide receivers, essentially. It's more skill position players. It's mostly to hear the cadences, and they record it so they can constantly hear the plays and the cadences and all that stuff, and to see where he's looking. And they showed a bunch of GoPro footage, like a bunch from that practice where Tua was dropping back, and you see it. And again, we're seeing it up here, not in his line of sight. I don't know why I can't speak right now. It was up on his helmet, and it was impressive. Now, I said that on Twitter, and of course there's people who are still mad at Tua over the Baltimore Ravens game, and there's still the people who never liked Tua that are obviously going to make comments when I say anything positive about Tua. And I got, they were like, oh boy, and I'm going to probably get in the comment section. But it was impressive watching that GoPro footage, especially when he was hitting Tyreek and Braxton and all those guys on go routes. It was like there was a finite amount of room and window for him to see where to drop that ball, and he was on the money. And so many keyboard warriors and so many people who think they know what they're talking about in the NFL. I don't. I make a point to tell you guys day in and day out. I'm just a guy in a studio in New Jersey. I give you my opinion. You can take it, throw it in the trash. You can move on. It won't affect me. But there are some guys that think that they know football. They know the quarterback position. He sucks. He should have thrown it here. This was the first read, not that, and da-da-da. They're in there. And when I'm watching that GoPro footage, those people would crap their pants with the 6'5", 6'4" linemen standing up to block, pass rushers coming at them, and trying to decipher what to see. Crap their pants. And that just shows that to make it in the NFL, to be a starter in the NFL, and to be successful in the NFL, no matter what you have around you, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and the system, when you saw that GoPro footage, it is crazy fast and just brutal on in your face. You have to be a good quarterback to be successful. You take Tim Boyle and you put him in this offense, I don't think he's as successful. So I was like, that's impressive. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still mad, a little mad at Tua about the play against the Ravens, but watching that GoPro footage, I was like, that's impressive. He needs to clean up a lot of things, especially going into Buffalo, but that's impressive. Now, people could be like, oh, Doug, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I thought it was impressive. If you did it, you didn't, but I don't think a lot of people in the world will be able to do that. That's why there's only 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL, and about 15 of them are successful. Um, so then so the game starts, and Tyreek Hill's on the sideline. He's pumped. He's like, if you're not ready to do this, don't go out on that field. Stay on the sideline, blah, blah. Like, he was pumped, and he's trying to get them ready for it. It's funny because McDaniel predicted I think in their meeting before the game the night before, so the Saturday before, that the first play is going to go for 24 yards. It went for 23 yards. It was the screen to Devon Achane, went for 23. It went for the man is like, people call him McGenius, but I don't. But I just think it's funny that he's like, oh, one play touchdown here. Boom, touchdown to Jalen Waddle. And like, oh, the first play is this, or the game's going to come down to, last second field. And it all predicted out. So, hey, Mike McDaniel, can you, before Sunday's game, night game, can you come out and say, we're going to win this game by 3 touchdowns and you guys can be able to relax? Because I would love that. I would just love to destroy Buffalo and be able to, in the fourth quarter, and just enjoy the crap out of it. Can you predict that? Because I don't know if my heart can take a week 3 of 2022 where kick the ball into the back of our guy's butt, and my heart. That's probably what it's going to be, though. It's going to be like that. On the Zay Flowers touchdown, they showed it. Lamar Jackson dropped back lefty, and then he switched to the right, and he threw it to Zay Flowers. I don't know what it was. I don't know why they did it, if to mess with Miami or what, but he dropped back lefty. He took the snap, and he took 3 steps back lefty, and then before he threw it, he flipped over to the right. I don't know why he did it, but he did it. And then McDaniel said to Duke Riley, make sure our personnel is right. And Duke Riley's like, I got you. Which, I was like, that's not... I don't want to hear that. Hey, Jerome, when are you coming back? Because the play that gave up that touchdown to Zay Flowers was him following the wrong guy and Eli Apple running into it. Was just a big miscommunication. And if you notice, when Javon Holland wasn't on the field, I think it was against the Titans, those last 2 touchdown drives, things looked a little miscommunication-y. So, hey, Duke Riley, make sure when he said that, make sure the personnel's right. He's like, I got you, don't worry. Now I'm worrying, Duke. Then McDaniel says on the sideline, I don't give up. And I noticed that. At some point, they didn't give up. They were fighting. It wasn't like no shot at the Jets, but you could kind of see that the Jets and their defense was just like, I'm done. It is what it is. The offense isn't backing us up. I'm done. I didn't see that in Hard Knocks. Now, maybe they edited it that way, but they were still fighting. It wasn't until Bradley Chubb's injury happened that then all of a sudden the air got sucked out of the room, because it was 3 minutes left in the game. You shouldn't have been there. But once Chubb got injured, you saw Duke Riley go to a knee. You saw Sealer praying. It just took the air out of the team. And you saw that at that point they were all, down and out. McDaniel said that the team was very confident and they didn't meet their expectation. And he even said in the post game, build off of this and all that stuff. So overall, what I got from this, and hopefully they build off of this, and I'll talk more about this throughout the week, is I think they might have went into this Ravens game a little too confident. And they had an expectation, like they kept saying, that wasn't met. And I don't know what that expectation was. Maybe more of a competitive game, or maybe, we'll take the lead, yada, yada. But I think that Ravens game, just like the Titans game, smacked them back to reality. And hopefully against Buffalo and in the playoffs, they don't do what they did. And maybe stay level-headed and play more disciplined and clean it up. But comment below. What did you think about the episode? What did you think about seeing that? I want to know what you guys thought about seeing that GoPro footage for the people who saw it. What was your thoughts on them practicing throughout the game? Do you think they went into that game a little too confident? And do you think this is a smack in the face of reality and they will bounce back? Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. I got a special video for you guys tomorrow. This video is kind of like a who's going to replace Bradley Chubb situation. I don't think anyone's going to be signed or anything this week. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe they would, but they wouldn't be for Buffalo game. It's kind of too short of a notice. Or maybe it will, but I'll make that video tomorrow. Thursday, I have a video kind of just talking about the team, and then Friday we got the preview, and then Saturday night we got the game. And I think I'm going to do a late night live stream Saturday because Sunday night we got the game. But other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow. But like usual, stay classy. Fins up.